A man walks into work knowing he'll probably die today, not eventually. Today. He's not a soldier, he's not a criminal. He's just trying to make a living in 1870s America. And his job? Rolling around in buffalo waste for 12 hours straight. That's just number 25 on this list. Wait until you hear about the guy whose job was literally drinking poison all day, the profession with a 90% death rate that people still applied for, and the job so dangerous that the posting said, "Orphans preferred." By the end of this video, you'll be thanking your lucky stars you weren't born 150 years ago. But first, smash that like button because this took forever to research. And let's dive into something so disgusting, it'll make you gag. Number 25. Buffalo wallower. Picture this. You strip down to your underwear and dive face first into a pool of buffalo dung mixed with mud. You roll around like you're making a snow angel. Except it's liquid waste. Why? Because buffalo fur stuck in the mess was worth more than gold for making fancy hats. These people spent 14 hours a day covered head to toe in animal excrement. The smell was so overwhelming that entire towns would evacuate when wallowers were working nearby. Most didn't survive 2 years due to diseases you've never heard of. But here's the crazy part. People fought for these jobs because they paid incredibly well. Think that's bad? Hold my beer. Number 24. Nitroglycerin freight hauler. Imagine your Uber driver casually mentioning, "Hey, I'm carrying 500 pounds of the most explosive substance on earth in my trunk, but don't worry, I drive really carefully." That was every single day for nitroglycerin haulers. They transported liquid destruction across dirt roads that would make your worst pothole look like a massage. One tiny bump, one hot day, one sharp turn, boom. Entire mountainsides were accidentally reshaped when these wagons exploded. The pay? $500 a day in today's money. The survival rate? Not great. Here's what's insane. People lined up for this job, which brings us to number 23, Pony Express rider. The job posting literally said, "Orphans preferred," because they knew you probably weren't coming home. 2,000 miles of pure chaos, hostile territory, mountain lions, grizzly bears, blizzards that could end you in minutes. You had to be under 18, weigh less than 125 pounds, and be okay with a 75% chance of never seeing your family again. The entire Pony Express lasted only 18 months because they ran out of people willing to risk everything for mail delivery. Today we complain when our Amazon package is 1 day late, but wait until you hear about the job that ended people with their own medicine. Number 22, patent medicine salesman. These traveling doctors sold miracle cures that were basically cocktails of chaos. We're talking cocaine for toothaches, heroin for coughs, and radium for energy drinks. Yes, radioactive radium. When customers started having issues, angry mobs hunted down the salesman with pitchforks and rope. Many were found in very unfortunate circumstances with their own poison bottles nearby. The irony? Most of these salesmen believed in their own products and tested them personally. Bad idea. Speaking of poison. Number 21. Whiskey taster. Your job: drink potentially lethal alcohol all day to make sure it wouldn't immediately harm customers. Wild West whiskey contained sulfuric acid, gunpowder, tobacco juice, and actual rat poison. The premium stuff only made you go blind. Professional tasters developed superhuman tolerance to toxic substances, but most were gone by 30 from liver failure that would end a modern person in days. They could drink battery acid and walk away, but couldn't survive their own profession. Now here's where it gets truly bizarre. Number 20. Rattlesnake milker. People believed rattlesnake venom could cure everything from cancer to baldness, so someone had to grab deadly serpents with their bare hands and extract poison from their fangs. No gloves, no protective gear, just you, a venomous snake, and a prayer. One bite meant game over in minutes, miles from any help. The wildest part? They only got paid $2 per ounce of venom. That's like risking everything for coffee money. Most lasted exactly one snake before reconsidering their career choices. Number 19. Dynamite monkey. These were small, agile guys who crawled into spaces too dangerous for anyone else, carrying live explosives. They rappelled down 1,000-foot cliffs, squeezed through collapsing mine shafts, and hung by ropes over active danger zones, all while carrying enough dynamite to level a building. 90% didn't make it. 9 out of 10 dynamite monkeys didn't survive the job. Not from explosions, from falling hundreds of feet onto rocks. The fortunate ones only broke multiple bones. The others, well, cleanup required shovels. Here's something that'll make you never complain about office cleaning again. Number 18. Buffalo chip collector. No trees on the prairie meant no firewood, so people burned dried buffalo waste. Someone had to collect tons of this stuff by hand. competing with wolves, bears, and mountain lions for the same piles. Collectors wandered alone across endless plains where a single wrong turn meant becoming a permanent part of the landscape. Many were found months later as preserved statues, clutching bags of their collection. Their final earthly act was literally grabbing waste. Think your performance reviews are stressful? Try this. Number 17. Professional gunfighter towns hired these guys to solve disputes through legal duels. Imagine clocking in knowing your job description is get shot at by angry strangers until one of you can't continue. The most successful gunfighter ever made it to 35 after winning 20 legal combats. The average career lasted 5 duels. The lucky ones retired missing fingers. The unlucky ones retired missing everything above the shoulders. And this was considered a respectable profession. Number 16. Adobe mixer making building bricks required stomping through a mixture of clay, straw, and collected human waste with your bare feet for 12 hours a day. Not just any waste. Waste collected from entire towns, including people suffering from cholera, typhoid, and other diseases. Mixers developed infections that damaged their feet and legs while they were still working. During epidemics, the job was basically a delayed sentence with extra steps. Yet people did it because even this nightmare paid better than farming. Here's a profession that redefined occupational hazard. Number 15. Bear grease collector. Bear fat was liquid gold, used for everything from hair products to cooking oil. Collectors hunted 1-800-pound grizzly bears with single-shot rifles and hand-forged knives. Bears that could outrun horses and crush human skulls like eggs. Most collectors didn't survive their third hunt. The smart ones quit after their first bear encounter. The determined ones kept going until they became bear food. Some were found weeks later in unfortunate circumstances, still clutching their collection jars. Number 14. Tunnel rat. When mine shafts collapsed, tunnel rats crawled through spaces barely wider than their bodies, searching for trapped gold veins. Armed with only a candle and determination, they navigated underground mazes filled with poisonous gas, unstable rocks, and whatever else lived in abandoned mines. Many simply vanished. Their voices would echo through the tunnels, then silence. Some mines remain sealed today with tunnel rats inside, their remains becoming part of the mountain. Rescue missions usually recovered equipment, not people. Number 13. Lightning rod salesman. These guys installed homemade lightning protection that was basically a magnet for trouble. During storms, they climbed onto roofs with metal rods, becoming human lightning attractors. Their own equipment ended them more often than it protected anyone else. The irony was perfect. People selling lightning protection being struck by lightning while installing lightning protection. It happened so often that insurance companies refused to cover lightning rod salesmen. Even fate couldn't escape the irony. Number 12. Mustang runner. Capturing wild horses looks romantic in movies. In reality, it was high-speed chaos on horseback. Runners chased herds across terrain that would challenge modern ATVs, using lassos while galloping at deadly speeds. Getting tangled in your own rope meant being dragged by the very horses you were trying to catch. The fortunate ones suffered quick skull fractures. The unfortunate ones were dragged for miles, leaving trails across the desert. Number 11. Barbed wire installer. Before mass production, every strand of barbed wire was installed by hand. Installers suffered constant cuts that became infected immediately. Rival ranchers sabotaged installations by creating traps disguised as normal wire. Many installers were found wrapped in their own wire like deadly presents, gone from blood loss or tetanus. The wire they installed to protect property ended up being their tomb. Some bodies weren't discovered for months, preserved in metal. Number 10. Alkali dust. Sweeper desert storms created toxic dust that ate through metal, wood, and human flesh. Sweepers cleaned this substance from buildings without protection, breathing in chemicals that would require hazmat suits today. The dust caused skin wounds that never healed, blindness that couldn't be cured, and lung damage that ended you slowly and painfully. Average survival, 6 months. The pay was amazing though, if you lived long enough to spend it. Number 9. Stagecoach guard. Sitting on top of a moving target, armed with a shotgun, protecting gold from professional criminals. Guards were specifically positioned to be shot first during robberies. They were human shields with weapons. The most dangerous routes had a 60% casualty rate, meaning 6 out of 10 guards met violent ends. The pay was incredible. 3 months' salary could set up your family for life. The catch? You probably wouldn't survive 3 months. Number 8. Water tester. In the desert, finding safe drinking water meant life or death. Testers drank small amounts from every water source to determine safety. They were human poison detectors, slowly harming themselves one sip at a time. Many succumbed to arsenic, lead, or radioactive minerals naturally present in desert water. Others survived but suffered permanent organ damage that made their remaining years misery. They saved thousands of lives by sacrificing their own health. Number 7. Widowmaker logger. Widowmakers were dead tree branches that could fall without warning, ending anyone below. Specialized lumberjacks climbed trees to remove these threats before they fell naturally. The irony: most widowmaker loggers were ended by the very branches they were trying to remove. The profession got its name because it created so many widows. Workers were crushed, impaled, or knocked unconscious and left alone in remote forests. Their families often never found the bodies. Number 6. Snake oil ingredient collector. Before fake medicine could be sold, someone had to collect the dangerous ingredients. These collectors captured venomous snakes, processed poisonous plants, and extracted oils from diseased animals. They were basically professional poison gatherers. Most were ended by the very substances they collected: snake bites, toxic plant exposure, infected animal scratches. The job was a sampler platter of doom. The ultimate irony: they perished collecting ingredients for medicine that didn't work anyway. Number 5. Boomtown cleaner. When mining towns went bust overnight, cleaners moved in to salvage anything valuable from abandoned buildings. They worked alone in ghost towns filled with unstable structures, open mine shafts, and occasionally, desperate criminals hiding from the law. Many simply disappeared. Some were found years later, crushed under collapsed buildings. Others fell into unmarked mine shafts and were never recovered. A few met their end from criminals wanting the valuable materials they'd collected. Number 4. Prairie dog exterminator. Ranchers paid big money to eliminate prairie dog colonies that destroyed crops. The method? Stuffing dynamite into underground tunnels and lighting the fuse. Simple, right? Wrong. Exterminators constantly miscalculated explosive amounts, ending themselves instead of the prairie dogs. Survivors faced bubonic plague from infected fleas that jumped from the rodents. Many succumbed to the same plague that devastated medieval Europe, all for eliminating pests. Number 3. Mine canary handler. Before gas detectors, miners used canaries to detect deadly gases. Canary handlers went first into every tunnel, carrying cages full of birds. When the canaries stopped singing, well, that meant run. But handlers often couldn't run fast enough. They were the first to encounter poisonous gases, cave-ins, and underground fires. The birds they carried to save others couldn't save them. Many were found still holding their cages, having given their lives for the warning. Number 2. Nitroglycerin manufacturing assistant. Someone had to help make the explosives that other people transported. These assistants mixed the most unstable compound on Earth with hand tools in wooden sheds. No safety equipment, no protective gear, just you, death in liquid form, and sweaty palms. Entire factories disappeared in seconds when someone stirred too hard or breathed wrong. Survivors were often found hundreds of feet away, launched by their own products. The turnover rate was explosive. And finally, the most dangerous job in the Wild West. Number 1. Traveling dentist. No anesthesia, no sterilization, no antibiotics, just rusty tools, whiskey for pain relief, and hands covered in other people's blood. Traveling dentists performed surgery in an era when a simple tooth extraction could end you. Most patients succumbed to infection or shock. Many dentists were attacked by angry mobs who blamed them for torturing their loved ones. Others were ended by diseases caught while working inside infected mouths. The profession had the highest mortality rate of any job, for both patients and practitioners. Think about that. In an era of professional gunfighters and dynamite haulers, the most dangerous job was being a dentist. There you have it. 25 Wild West jobs that would make your worst Monday look like a spa day. Still think your job is tough? At least your biggest risk is a paper cut or bad coffee. The Wild West wasn't just cowboys and outlaws. It was a world where ordinary people accepted extraordinary risks just to survive. These brave, crazy, or desperate souls helped build America with their blood, sweat, and lives. Next time you complain about work, remember the guy who had to taste poison whiskey all day, or the person who rolled in buffalo waste for a living. Suddenly, that boring meeting doesn't seem so bad. Which of these insane jobs would you absolutely never do? Drop it in the comments. I'm betting most of you can't even pick a least terrible option. And if this video made you grateful for modern life, smash that like button and subscribe for more historical content that'll blow your mind. Remember, no matter how bad your Monday gets, at least you're not a buffalo chip collector.